guys, it's Vanessa with Farm Girl Gardens and Market, and today I'm in my cottage demonstration garden. This is just one of the demonstration gardens I have here at the Farm Project to show individuals what a small self-reliance garden can look like. So one of the things that I wanted to show you today was actually based off a question that I received this week from some of y'all. Some of y'all have sent me some pictures of some baby lettuce, and unfortunately, some of them were a little too leggy to survive being transplanted at this point in the season. At this point in the season, if you're going to still try and grow lettuce, direct sowing in the ground is really your best bet. And that is because that lettuce really has a very short season. It needs to get established quickly, and trying to transplant something at this point is going to be a little bit difficult because of how stressed it will just make that plant. So one of the questions I received was, well, if you are direct sowing, how do you get those beautiful rows? And so I just want to show you what they're talking about. I do direct sow, and I recommend direct sowing lettuce always. I think that the benefit to direct sowing in a permaculture setting is that you can get a high intensity of lettuce very quickly and tightly packed into a space that you just can't get with an established start. The established start is going to have a larger root system, so it's going to need more space between it and its next plant. Whereas if you are direct seeding, you can broadcast seed very thickly, and then you can actually go in and carve out the intentional rows and the spacing. And so I want to kind of show you what that process looks like. So over here we have got our what I'm calling our baby salad green garden. And then over here I've got our Lactino kale. This is mostly for juicing needs. And you can see that my method is I do broadcast sow, but I broadcast sow in a row. And I leave a good amount of space in between rows so that when everything comes up, I can kind of tell where I need to weed out and thin. And then I go in and I thin out the plants. But I thin out the plants in a way where I can start plugging in any spots that are kind of bare. And so I want to show you this, and I'm sorry, just the camera angle is really hard when you're super pregnant. But if you can see how densely packed all of this is, that is a little too tight for my preference. Plus, I have some spaces that I can plug in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take an area that is overcrowded, and I'm just going to pull out, and I'm just using a stick. I mean, this isn't fancy. I'm just using a stick to kind of pull out this mass of baby chard sprouts, right? And so now that I have all of these beautiful little chard sprouts, I can reallocate them in a section that is thinner than I want it to be. So I'm going to take these chard sprouts back to my salad green garden, and as you can see, I've got some spots in this row that are barren. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with my stick, and wherever there's a spot where I want to make a spot for a new plant, I'm just taking a stick. You can use a gloved finger, you don't have to be fancy, and I'm just making a hole that is deep enough to support me inserting this taproot on this baby chard. So let me see if I can do this with one hand and show you. Okay, you don't actually have to be too gentle with chard or anything in the silver beet family because they're just rugged. But so I'm taking this taproot and I am just plugging it into this hole that I have created. And you do kind of want to nurse the root in there so it doesn't get too jumbled up. This is much easier to do with both hands. Okay, there we go. So at least I've got the root in the right way. And then I just pinch it, guys. I'm just pinching it in. Don't worry about that little leaf because we'll pull him off anyway. But then just pinch in around the base. Can you see this thing? Sorry, get him out of the way. Around the base. And you can see that I'm just plugging in my row. And so I'm going to put another one here. Probably put another one right here. And so now I have this appearance of a very intentionally rowed crop, but actually It started out as a broadcast sowing method, which gave me all of the benefits. It gave me the benefits of getting it in the ground directly. I didn't have to keep it in the greenhouse, didn't have to buy extra gear like grow lights to support it. It allowed me to get these babies to a transplant size in the conditions in which they can acclimate in season. This lettuce that has been direct sown in the ground is better acclimated to our warm temperature right now than something that you could germinate from seed in a greenhouse and then transplant. At this point in season, mid of April, we really only have about a month and a half of aggressive lettuce season left. Now, things you can do right now to help you extend that season: shade your lettuce or plant your lettuce intentionally under the canopy of a larger vegetable like an eggplant or a tomato that will give it some shade. Plant species of lettuce that have a spicy flavor, because the reason that lettuce tends to not do well as a crop in the summer is once it gets too hot, it does not develop proper sugars and it goes to seed, and so it bolts. When something bolts, it turns bitter. But if you're growing arugula because you love the taste of spicy arugula, it's not going to matter to you so much if that arugula is more spicy because of heat. So as long as you are direct sowing, planting species that can tolerate the climate, using methods in permaculture like high intensity, high diversity plantings of choosing a plant as a canopy to shade something delicate like a lettuce, and then also utilizing the cut and come again harvest method. That's where you come in and you just with your scissors cut everything but about 1 to 2 inches of growth on the plant. You harvest it, you leave the root and that remaining 1 to 2 inches of plant left in the ground, and then as you're eating that lettuce for the week, that lettuce in the ground is regrowing so you can harvest again. That does help extend the life of your lettuce because it keeps it from bolting even when weather is a little bit hotter, because it is constantly saying it's grow time, I'm being harvested. So I hope that that helps explain some of the method behind the madness of this cottage demonstration garden, and until next time, I hope that y'all are well. Bye guys.